Greetings, Boffins, and welcome to the Boffin Lab. My name is Triton, and today we're looking at the HEDP rounds used in the SMAW's launcher when playing ARMA 3. I have set up an Op 4 unit of 7 infantrymen in the open set to stand still and readied them for a target run. I've also selected an elevated firing position approximately 400 to 430 meters away from the infantry that I'm trying to engage. Now, I've selected a point slightly behind the squad, the point man at the front of the formation as my target location, but this was slightly in error. Very important to note for anyone operating one of these, the tracer rounds used for spotting will activate and alert the targets. Notice that once they hit, they all go prone and into alert mode. This is something that anybody planning an assault will have to take into account. I'm deliberately waiting for them to all stand up again while I continue to range the target. Notice how far behind the lead man my shot is landing, and this is deliberate. When it lands, the blast gets the entire formation. However, when I take a closer look, I notice that out of the 7, I managed to kill 4, and there are 3 more. Now, due to the unusual settings that we have on our test server, I was unable to determine the level of injury of the remaining troops, but it should devastate a formation. If it had landed a bit further forward, I suspect the front 3 would have also suffered serious wounds as well. For the next test, I set up a CSAT unit of 8 infantry, and they've got superior armor to the last group, but I've decided to attack them from side on, mainly because I can't work out how to rotate. Now, this shot is designed to land just behind the leader of the squad. It should get the front 5 very easily. We reload, and we'll notice that once again the tracer shot has alerted them. Wait for them to all stand up, drop the rocket in the middle of them, and the devastating blast that comes from that is just as effective as the previous infantry that we had. Out of a squad of 8, there are 3 remaining. Interesting to note that even the ones that were prone were badly injured in the process. The next test that I set up is a garrisoned group of 7 infantry in a sandbag bunker. They've chosen their own locations on where to garrison, but they're spread throughout the bunker, and I am going to try and put a rocket through the window of their little bunker. However, once again the tracer round alerts the units. You'll assume that if your Zeus is working this, then the tracer round will in fact set them to alert mode. But I'll wait for them to stand up, which takes a few seconds, and then put the round through the window into the bunker. I think this is the real strength of the HEDP rounds, because the concussion wave has wiped out 5 of 7 infantry that were in the bunker. And if the Zeus mission parameters are set correctly, the last 2 should be injured, which means storming this position now with infantry would be relatively easy in comparison to what it was a few minutes ago. As you can see, the devastation extends throughout the whole bunker, through walls and into the back of the bunker. Now, the main concern for any section leader or platoon leader at this point is whether they're sacrificing the ability to engage vehicles at this range. So we'll test the HEDP on a few of the light to medium skinned armored units available. There's some strange settings with the targets on this range, but you see that vehicle explodes as I reload, so it obviously was damaged. The second vehicle is lighter armor and explodes immediately. So what happens if an MBT rolls up on your position? Well, we test the HEDP against the flank of an MBT at this point, and I managed to get the first round just above the tracks and start cooking the engine. So the engine is burning. Technically, a crew should dismount at this point. However, interesting to note that the second round doesn't destroy the tank outright, which indicates the limitations of the HEDP against heavily armored targets. Taking all that into consideration, I think the real strength of the HEDP rounds is against fortified infantry and their ability to use the tracer rounds to make sure you put the round straight through a window or an opening. This gives you the best opportunity to make the most use of that explosive round and get as many enemy troops as possible. Storming a bunker like this usually results in 1 to 3 people that are heavily wounded, so making it easier for them saves your unit time and effort and medical supplies. This is the end of the demonstration. Thank you for watching. Please consider the use of HEDP in your section or unit at a future time. In the meantime, good hunting on the battlefield.